All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I wanted to talk about here, Akim Williams. Akim Williams posted a physique update today where he looks absolutely monstrous. He does a front double bicep and a couple back shots in this update. But honestly, the front double bicep, the very first photo in that series of photos that he posted, is one of the most impressive front double biceps I think I've ever seen in professional bodybuilding. Akim Williams has an insane amount of muscle mass. I think Akim has been extremely underrated during his bodybuilding career simply because of the fact that oftentimes he's unable to come in with good conditioning. But this past year, Akim made some pretty big statements, winning the Chicago Pro to qualify for the Olympia. I don't think anybody really expected Akim to come in and win that show. Coming into the Olympia, Akim was able to crack the top 6 when nobody, not even myself, was talking about Akim as a top 6 guy because Akim had this track record of not coming in condition. But he's finally, the past 2 shows that he's done were some of the best, if not the best, conditioned versions of Akim that we have seen so far. So Akim posted this physique update, and I think an interesting thing here to consider is that even though Akim did phenomenal at the 2020 Mr. Olympia with that top 6 placing, taking 6th place, he is not currently qualified for the 2021 Mr. Olympia. So he does still need to compete in order to qualify to go to the Olympia again. Now, the New York Pro is about 10 weeks away, a show that Akim has done multiple times. The Indy Pro, another show that Akim has done, is about 9 weeks away. Is it possible that in these photos Akim is 9 to 10 weeks out? I think it is possible. Now, with these upcoming shows, especially the New York Pro, everybody's talking about Blessing Awodebu, Nick Walker. No one's really talking about Akim. He hasn't announced what show he's doing. But if he does jump in the New York Pro or the Indy Pro, I think it's going to be lights out for Blessing and Nick. He's already beaten Nick Walker at the Chicago Pro where Nick took 4th. If Akim jumps in one of these shows, the conversation is quickly going to stop being about these other guys, and it's going to be about Akim Williams winning that show. So I overlooked Akim last year. I am not going to overlook Akim in 2021. If he competes sometime soon, he is the guy we need to be looking at. He's the guy we need to be talking about. He's a top 6 Olympian now. And just look at his front double bicep. If that doesn't say bodybuilding, I don't know what does. Look, imagine his silhouette in this front double bicep pose. Just the shadow cast by that front double bicep. That is a professional bodybuilder's physique. That is a top Olympian's physique. Akim, I think this might be his year. Now, speaking of the upcoming New York Pro, here's another guy you don't want to overlook, and that is Justin Rodriguez. Justin Rodriguez has been posting several physique updates. This one was no exception. He posted a front double bicep pose and a most muscular pose in his most recent physique update 10 weeks out from the New York Pro. He tagged me in this post to make sure I don't forget. And Justin, I would not forget about. I've had him in the back of my mind thinking about this New York Pro. I knew he was doing it a couple weeks ago. He's another guy. Like I said, it's become a lot about Blessing and Nick. But there's guys like Justin, guys potentially like Akim, that could come in and really do some damage in these lineups that no one's talking about. Justin is another guy with the front double bicep. He's got an extremely different front double bicep to what Akim's is. But he also has a really impressive front double bicep in his own right. So be on the lookout for Justin at the New York Pro 2021. Now, speaking of front double biceps, these first 3 stories are pretty much all going to be front double bicep stories. Nick Walker, a guy that we just mentioned, another guy competing in the New York Pro, a rookie professional bodybuilder taking 4th at the Chicago Pro, which was his pro debut. Nick Walker posted a physique update. He posted a front double bicep and a most muscular, but the front double bicep is what I wanted to draw your attention to because a lot of people were sending this to me commenting that Nick's waist looks smaller. They're saying his midsection doesn't look as blocky here, and I believe the reason for that is in this front double bicep, which I think is one of Nick's more impressive poses, it looks to me like he's changed the way that he's hitting that pose. In the past, it looks like he was doing more of a vacuum pose with a front double bicep, kind of sucking in his waist and flaring out his lats and kind of pushing forward. It looks to me that now he's doing more of a crunched abdominals front double bicep in these more recent shots. And I think in these photos, at least, it's giving his midsection a little bit more of a tapered look, and it's making his abs look tighter, and it's just making his V-taper look a little bit better. So however he decided to come up with this variation of the pose, I do think it works for Nick. It almost works better for him than the vacuum pose, and you guys know I love a good vacuum pose. So be on the lookout for Nick Walker, Justin Rodriguez, and potentially Akim Williams. He hasn't announced it yet, but I have a feeling we're going to see Akim on stage very, very soon. And now a word from our sponsors at Labrada Nutrition.
Come on.
All right, now next up in the news, we have yet another training video and update from Roelly Winklaar. Roelly has been posting a lot of training updates, physique updates, just a lot of content from Roelly lately. And I think this might mean that Roelly is getting ready for a show in the near future. Again, you guys got to think about the fact that these guys only have a 5-month window to qualify for the Olympia between May and October, which we now know is when the Olympia is, and it's early October too. So Roelly, like I said, he's not qualified for the Olympia yet. He still needs to qualify. There's talk about a special invitation. That's kind of the rumor. Not really a rumor, just something that the fans were saying they think he should get. I don't think he's going to get one. I think Roelly is going to compete soon, and I think a lot of the guys that need to qualify for the Olympia, like Akim, which I mentioned, are going to attempt to qualify sooner rather than later because they want to focus their preps on the Olympia. So they want to get that qualification, know they're going to the Olympia, and then turn their sights and turn their focus to the Olympia. So Roelly, it might be a little bit more of a wild card, but maybe Roelly would do the New York Pro. Maybe Roelly would do the Indy Pro. You've got shows after that closer to the Olympia, and those are always options, but I think some of these guys might want to play it safer and do a show early in the season, which they don't have a very long season to begin with, and then just get it out of the way and then focus on the Olympia. And based on the sheer volume of content that Roelly has been posting, it looks like he's training full steam ahead for something. It looks like he's really gearing up for something. So maybe we'll see Roelly on stage here in a few months in May. So something to look out for. Now, the final story that I wanted to talk about today, a Larry Wheels story and an Andrew Jack story. So Andrew Jack, the training partner of Larry Wheels, you guys might be familiar with him. He's featured in a lot of Larry's videos. He's featured in one of Larry's recent Instagram posts. So Larry posted some training clips, and if you scroll to the very last clip on that post, you'll get to see a nice little treat there of a pose down between Larry and Andrew. So you get kind of a feel for how Andrew is looking. He's only a couple weeks out now from his bodybuilding show. I was told that he is no longer focusing on classic physique. He's focusing on straight up bodybuilding, at least for his amateur career, which I think will be pretty short, to be honest with you guys. I mean, the fact that this guy has never stepped on a bodybuilding stage or any stage before blows my mind. Genetically, this guy is a beast. He's got a crazy physique, and I think he's got a ton of potential, and I think his amateur career will be very short-lived. I think he could go from one show to a national show and then just turn pro. I mean, this guy, he has a pro-caliber physique if I've ever seen one. Larry Wheels is a big dude. He's massive. But next to Andrew, you can clearly tell that Andrew has just a whole different tier of bodybuilding genetics above what Larry has. And Larry has a very impressive physique, but Andrew Jack, he's just got that 3D round fullness, these crazy muscle bellies. And again, the fact that he's never competed before blows my mind. And I think he's got a tremendous career ahead of him, whatever direction he decides to go. But I'd love to know what you guys think in the comment section below about how Andrew looks, about his physique. Personally, I'm extremely impressed. He's got all this roundness and fullness, like I said, but, you know, when he turns around in the front double bicep, look at how much detail and how much pop his physique has compared to Larry. I mean, he's got all kinds of detail in his midsection, detail in his shoulders, his serratus muscle, you know, the separation between his bicep and his tricep, that tricep sweep that he's got there. He's got a very impressive physique, and I really think he's got a tremendous bodybuilding career ahead of him. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. That's going to wrap it up for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet already. As always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out.